This video issues a warning to the Taliban leaders in Afghanistan and Pakistan about their plans for attacking Kashmir and Punjab states in North India. Hello friends, this is Unmasked Truth with Harmanjeet Saini, where I provide unique analysis of world events based on the unmasked truth that after surrender, Germany continued World War II clandestinely and became a killing machine. I also provide true news that you will find nowhere else. The Taliban and Pashtuns in Afghanistan and Pakistan are being manipulated by the Germans. They have been able to construct a formidable army with more than $80 billion worth of military equipment in their possession that was abandoned by the US military when it evacuated from Afghanistan. The tragedy that is unfolding in Afghanistan in terms of starvation, malnourished children, with the lucky ones lying in underfunded hospitals lacking medicines and other supplies, sale of children, particularly females as young as 6 to 8 years old, so that the rest of the family members can buy food to keep themselves alive, is heartrending for much of the world, especially the Western world, except perhaps for Germany and China. Both these nations actually rejoice in seeing people killing themselves. What kind of a society is this in which people who have the money will not help their fellow citizens by giving them food and clothing so that they can stay alive, but will instead buy their children into slavery or sex slavery for small sums of money? That is the pure Islamic society on display, modeled from the pure teachings of the Quran. The Taliban has the most learned, quote unquote, Islamic scholars to guide their policies. What kind of fathers are these who will sell their little children into sex slavery so that they themselves can stay alive for a few months? These fathers get their teachings from the Quran and Islam based on it. Clearly, the Quran has deadened any normal feelings of love, compassion for own family, their fellow human beings, particularly for the female half of society, even of their own race and country. And the Taliban leadership, they don't seem to think that the feeding and providing for the needs of their citizens is their top priority. They feel their only duty is to appeal to the international community to help their citizens facing a humanitarian crisis of humongous proportions. Their top priority is to stay in power and impose Islamic rules on all of society, particularly women, and kill those who violate any of their rules, and hunt those down and kill them who fought against them when they were fighting to regain power. Contrast the behavior of Afghanistan to that of the Sikhs, whom they seek to destroy as the alliance partners of the Germans. Now, anywhere in the world where people are in distress, you will see local Sikhs at least banding together to provide free food and shelter to the needy, irrespective of race, color, or religion. If they find a female in distress, they generally jump to protect her. In the current Ukraine crisis at the Ukraine Poland border, Sikhs fought the Polish authorities to be allowed to set up their aid tent and immediately started providing free hot food. And the Gurdwaras, those are Sikh places of worship, opened their doors to provide shelter to those who needed it free of charge. The Germans and the Chinese have built a formidable coalition to fight and destroy about 25 million Sikhs living in Punjab. Pashtuns and Balochis of Pakistan are also part of this coalition. Iran is also allied with them. Vast majority of India's population is also allied with the Germans and has made many attempts already to destroy the Sikhs and Punjabis. This is where I would like to advise all these coalition members to take stock of their alliance with the Germans and do what is right. Sikhs have done no harm to any Indians ever in their entire history. The Pashtuns and Balochis of Pakistan and Afghanistan are originally of Iranian origin. They have been encroaching into territory belonging to Indians for more than 3,000 years and have carved out Afghanistan and parts of Afghanistan for themselves. Kashmir does not belong to them. But they have ambitions even beyond Kashmir to occupy Punjab, commit genocide on the Punjabis and Sikhs in particular, enslave the survivors, and remove them from their lands. All these people would not have such dreams if the Germans had not planted such ideas in their heads and offered them support. Prophet Nahum described some key German traits in his prophecies in Nahum chapter 3 verses 1 and 19. Verse 1 states, "Woe to the bloody city," using Assyria's capital, ancient capital Nineveh, as a representation of Assyria or Germany. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departs not. Here are four characteristics of the Germans very precisely identified. They are given to much bloodshed in the world. They are liars through and through. They are wholly given to robbing other people. They have always been preying on or victimizing some people or the other at any point in time in their history. Then, verse 19, "Upon whom has not your wickedness passed continually?" This prophecy tells us that in the end time no people will escape the German evils. True to the prophet Nahum's word, there is no nation on earth that is going to escape the evil perpetrated by the Germans in the end time. Sikhs and Punjabis in India are the intended victims of this evil the Germans are planning through the Taliban and Pashtuns in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Participation in this evil is exactly the opposite of doing the right thing. History of the Sikhs with the Afghans has been Afghan invasions through past centuries. Then the Sikhs were able to stop Afghan plundering when they established their own short-lived Sikh empire, which ultimately became part of the British Empire in India. Since that time, Sikhs have done no harm to the Afghans, yet under the evil German influence they seek to destroy us. I am a former Sikh who converted to Christianity nearly 50 years ago. My family members are still all Sikhs and Hindus. Therefore, I am directly affected by all these machinations of the Taliban and Pashtuns in Afghanistan and Pakistan under the evil influence of the Germans. As part of Indian army, we Sikhs have fought three major wars led by Pashtun generals of Pakistan: the 1947-48 war in Kashmir, the 1965 and 71 wars. Then another skirmish was fought in the 1999 Kargil war. In all these wars, we did not know these wars were instigated by the Germans. But we now know that any invasion by Pashtuns and Balochis of Pakistan and Afghans, with the help of much of India against Kashmir and Punjab, will be instigated by Germany. Therefore, this time, in alliance with the United States, Sikhs will not agree to a ceasefire in the war until we have taken sufficient action to prevent the Pashtuns and other Afghans from waging war against us in the future. We know what your goal would be when you attack us: destroy most of us, enslave the rest of the population, and remove us from our lands. Therefore, I would like to issue this warning to the Taliban in Afghanistan and Pakistan and the Pashtuns and Balochis in Pakistan. Our goal in dealing with you will match your goal. If under German influence you attack us for the fourth time, we will defend ourselves. If we win the war, we will destroy your power. We intend to kill or expel all Pashtuns and Balochis out of Pakistan into Afghanistan or Iran. We will no Pashtuns or Balochis living in Pakistan or India. We will also destroy at least one-third of Afghanistan's population. This time you will not be let off easy as you have been in the past three wars. We intend to destroy your power so utterly and monitor you closely after that so that you do not pose a threat to us again for at least 100 years. The Palestinians, in their alliance with the Germans, have conducted terrorist activities against Americans and Britons in addition to the Jews. They dared to murder American ambassadors and a presidential candidate. Any people in the world who have been allied with the Germans and have perpetrated evil against us will pay for their high crimes. The Palestinians will pay dearly for their terrorist activities against Americans, Britons, and the Jews. In the same way, Pashtuns and Afghanistans will pay dearly if they attack Kashmir and Punjab again under the guidance of the Germans. Afghans, Pashtuns, and Balochis, you have now been warned. I would advise you to do the right thing and not plan evil such as attacking your neighbors under German influence. Truly, the world has reached the point when global catastrophes are about to begin. The only way to escape them is by getting one's spiritual house in order by doing the right thing. Only God will save individuals. There is no way to come out alive through these catastrophes by being on the winning side of wars, because the winners will be losers in the next war. If you give in to evil against us, we will not let you off easily this time. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please continue to watch my videos and read my articles on important world events, World War III watch, politics, international business, advice on health and medical problems, and much more for in-depth and insightful analysis. Please also subscribe to my YouTube and Facebook channels Unmasked Truth with Harmanjeet Saini to view and get information on the latest videos. Some people do not have the time to go through the full length of videos. They find it more convenient to read the text of the video. Unfortunately, YouTube does not provide the capability to make the text of my videos available on YouTube. But fortunately, Facebook does provide that capability. So I make the text of my videos available on my Facebook channel, which you can easily copy.